Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. And this is essentially the same week as last time, but we have a few different things going on this week. So we're going to be going over all the same stuff that I went over last week, plus the new stuff in today's video. Now this is a pretty short update week, and this starts obviously the day that this video is coming out and lasts through to July 13th, and that's because the new GTA Online update is coming out on July 14th. I'll be live streaming it when it comes out, so I hope you tune in and check that out when I'm actually live. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video and the new stuff. So to get started, we still have the Fine Art Collector Program bonuses going on. That's $500,000 for logging in. That's $1 million bonus for completing any heist within 72 hours. You'll get the $1 million bonus. Now, additionally, we also have for mansion owners, you'll get a $1 million discount on the art studio upgrade if you own a mansion before the new update comes out, and a free Annihilator stealth, as well as some other things that are going to come out with the actual Quartz Center heist update. The weekly challenge this week is going to be to win 2 races to get the blue Jock Cranley jumpsuit and $100,000, which is different from last week's challenge. We have triple money and triple RP on stunt races this week, which is pretty cool, at least select stunt races. So that's pretty neat. But the real money bonus of the week that everybody is going to be after and that everybody's talking about is the double money and RP on bunker sale missions. Now, the bunker normally sells for $1,050,000. If you have a full bunker, that means it's going to sell for $2,100,000 this week each time you sell it. And this bonus is also continuing into next week as well. So this is going to be around for a long time. I hope you guys can make a ton of money with it. Make sure to take advantage of this bonus because this is a big one. I'm going to have a bunker guide coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, just so you guys can stay up to date with that business. We also have double money and double RP on ammunition contract missions. Running Back Remix is also on double money and double RP this week. It's a pretty fun adversary mode. You should give it a shot for sure. And the community series is also on double money and double RP as well. Furthermore, we have double money, RP, and research progress on bunker research missions. Those are the missions you can start by calling Agent 14. They're really good for getting bunker research done, so that's going to be sweet. And last but not least, we also have double bunker research speed this week as well, so that's pretty sweet. Now, additionally, starting off with a free thing that we have this week, which is the Lago Zancudo bunker. You can get a free bunker this week, guys. So even if you don't have a bunker yet, this is going to be a really good way to make some money. This week at least, is just by getting this thing for free, and you might want to upgrade it and everything like that. Now, it's not the best bunker location. If you're going to be buying a bunker this week, intentionally get the farmhouse. But honestly, if you don't have a bunker yet and you're in the market for one, get the Lago Zancudo bunker. It could be worse. It's a pretty good location, probably like 4th best in the game sort of thing. So not bad if you can get it for free. I mean, definitely take advantage of getting it for free. It's better than having no bunker at all, that's for sure. For those of you that are going to be buying a bunker this week, the farmhouse bunker is by far the best. Now, bunkers are also 40% off this week as well. So even if you don't get the free one, if you have the money to burn, spend the extra money to get the farmhouse bunker. While it's 40% off, it is going to be absolutely worth getting. As far as upgrading a bunker goes, the personal quarters is really the only thing that matters, so that you can actually spawn there. The shooting range is nice to have. You can unlock some challenges for doing that. The gun locker is not really that great. I would avoid purchasing it, honestly, and the transportation I would avoid as well. Now, additionally, on Dynasty 8, Executive Realty, under the high-end section, if you sort it low to high, you have free 10-car garages available this week. If you guys don't have all of your 10-car garage slots filled, or your property slots, I would highly recommend taking advantage of this and getting yourself some free garages while you can, because why not? They're free 10-car garages, you might as well have them. Now, moving back over to the foreclosures website, we have another property discount to go over. That is going to be 60% off of hangars. Crazy, crazy discount. If you're going to be buying a hangar this week, I highly recommend getting Fort Zancudo Hangar 3497 or 3499. Either of them are really good. If you want to know more about that, I have a hangar guide linked in description, so go check that out if you're interested. interested. But definitely get a hanger this week while they're 60% off, guys. This is going to be a great way to make money in the future. And of course, you can store all your aircraft there and everything like that as well. And upgrades and modifications for them are also 60% off. So if you want to upgrade one as well, you might as well do that this week because it's super cheap. I mean, 94 grand for the living quarters, 460k for the workshop. Not bad, all things considered, so please get a hanger this week, guys. Now, over on the Executive Realty website, we also have agencies 60% off, including upgrades and modifications. Please buy an agency out of the locations that are available here. Really doesn't matter. Some people say Hawick is the best. Some people say Little Seoul's great. I personally have the Vespucci Canals location. There's also the Rockford Hills location. Honestly, any of them are great. I think the cheapest is best. I mean, Little Seoul for $800,000, really not bad. Would highly recommend getting an agency. If you're gonna get an agency, I also recommend the Armory and the accommodation and the vehicle workshop. So you can put those Amani Tech upgrades on the agency, the accommodation so you can spawn there, and the Armory because you get a gun locker and a requisition officer who you can purchase weapons from all in one central location, and you can also get some free ammo there as well. So it's absolutely worth it. Everything else is cosmetic, you can avoid all that stuff, but please buy an agency and a hangar and a bunker this week. Those are things that I do recommend picking up. And get yourself some free 10-car garages as well. Starting us off with our vehicle discounts, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and say this so I don't have to waste a bunch of time talking about each car. If there's a car that you've been after for a long time, you're waiting for it to go on sale, and it's on sale now, you should probably consider purchasing it, but I would say it really depends on how much money you have, because we do have the new DLC coming out on July 14th, which Rockstar is obviously giving out these crazy sales to separate you from your money, because they want you to buy Shark cards or GTA Plus when this new update drops so that they can make more money. It's a fact, it's just a business decision, I totally get it, but that is something to be aware of, so please don't go too crazy this week. We do have this DLC coming out. It seems like it's going to be one of the most expensive ones of all time, to be completely honest, just simply based on the discounts they're giving us. They want us to be broke for this, so don't fully fall into the trap. I would pick a few things that you want this week, but make sure you have, I would say, $30 to $50 million. You should be pretty comfortable for the new DLC at that price point if you have that much money in cash. Just don't go below $30 million, I would say, because then you'll at least be able to buy most of the new stuff on day one, I would say. With that being said, we have the Obey 10F here on the Benny's website. Very cool car, great customization, has the wide body kit available for it. One of the better non-HSW sports cars in the game. It is rear wheel drive, which is something to note with it. Acceleration's good, top speed's decent. It's a cool car. I personally love the 10F. Do I recommend it for everybody? No, but if it's something you're interested in, you should probably buy one. Well, it has got this crazy discount on it this week, and it is 50% off just in case you guys were curious. Over on Elitist Travel, we have the Buckingham Luxor for $487,500. Very cheap. I don't recommend this one though because it is a Pegasus vehicle and you can go to the airport and steal one for free anyways. So I do not recommend buying the Luxor this week. Over on Legendary Motorsports, starting off with the Vapid FMJ Mark V. This is the fastest supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online once it has HSW, because it has HSW available for it. It is one of the best supercars, even non-HSW wise, but it's a lot less worth it if you don't have HSW available on your platform. It does have a missile lock-on jammer, which is pretty cool. It has a top speed of about 155 miles per hour and has crazy downforce and great handling. If you're interested in racing and you want a really good performance car in the supercar category, it does not get better than the FMJ Mark V. However, what I will just say is I do have a feeling there probably will be a new, better supercar coming out with the new update on July 14th, so just be advised about that. We have the Grotti LS Car Meet Cheetah Classic also discounted here by 50% off. I do not recommend this car, mostly because it has absolutely zero customization options available for it. However, what I will say is it is the best Tuners subclass car to use in the Tuners subclass races, which are the ones that you do to unlock the LS Car Meet Prize Ride, for example. It has a missile lock-on jammer, which is cool. Overall, I don't really feel like it's worth this price for most players. So for most people, I would say to avoid this one. We also have the LS Car Meet Jester RR. This one I would say to avoid fully because it's more expensive than the LS Car Meet Cheetah Classic, and it's just not that great of a vehicle. It does have the missile lock-on jammer available for it, but it also has no customization, so I would say avoid this one. Scrolling a little bit further down, we have the Bravado Banshee GTS and the Ubermacht Niobe. Both of these are excellent sports cars with HSW. The Bravado Banshee GTS being the fastest sports car in the game, let alone the fastest sports car, the fastest car in the game top speed wise, with a top speed of 172.5 miles per hour. It has good handling as well and good customization. I recommend the Bravado Banshee GTS for 50% off. The Ubermacht Niobe for $940,000 is also an excellent car. The third fastest sports car in the entire game top speed wise. Really good handling, it is all wheel drive, has some good customization based off the BMW i8. Also a really good car. I'd say if you're better at driving, buy the Banshee GTS, but the Niobe does have its place in this game for sure. It is a really good car. I honestly recommend both, if you have the money, of course. We also have the Panhard Le Carousse, Bravado Buffalo EVX, and Grotti Stinger TT. The Grotti Stinger TT is the second fastest sports car in the entire game top speed wise, but it has pretty abysmal handling. I would say out of the cars that we've gone over so far, the Stinger TT ranks last over the Niobe and the Bravado Banshee GTS. I don't really recommend the Stinger TT. The Bravado Buffalo EVX is a great car. It does excellent for protecting you because it's an electric Amani Tech capable vehicle with armor plating. It can take 12 RPGs or 12 homing missiles, and with HSW it has a top speed of about 144 miles per hour. It is a really good car for this price point. I would recommend purchasing this if you play in public lobbies. If not though, you could skip it for sure. The Panhard Le Carousse is one of the best handling cars in the entire game. For $995,000, I do feel like it is generally worth it across the board, but it becomes a lot more valuable if you have HSW available on your platform, because with HSW, it is truly one of the fastest cars in the game because of how good it is at going around corners quickly. It doesn't have the greatest top speed, only about 140 miles per hour, but it is still a very good car, and I do recommend it. Scrolling further down, we have the Pegassi Torero XO for $1,445,000. Unfortunately, this car has completely broken downforce, meaning that it does not have very good handling at high speed. It is a very cool looking car with great customization. For those reasons, I do recommend it, but it's not going to be for everybody. If you're interested in the car, I would recommend buying it, but for most people, you could probably skip it and you'd be totally fine. We have the Overflowed Xeno. Next up, I would just say completely avoid this thing. I think compared to a lot of the other vehicles on discount this week, this thing just does not hold up. So unless this is one you really want for some reason, I'd say avoid this and buy some other cars instead. We also have the Pegassi Ignis. Great looking vehicle, but again, kind of similar boat to the Xeno. It's just not there performance wise as some of the other vehicles are. It is fantastic looking, it's great to customize, all that good stuff, but it's just not exactly a top tier supercar as far as a non-HSW supercar goes. If you like it, all that stuff, definitely consider buying it. Well, it's discounted this much, but for most people, you can avoid it. We also have the Pfister Growler. I would completely avoid this thing this week. It just doesn't hold a candle to some of the other vehicles we've gone over so far, so I would say to completely avoid this thing this week. It is one of the bottom tier vehicles that are discounted, I would say. Moving further down, we have the Grotti Furia. This is one I would say to avoid because the performance is not that fantastic, especially compared to some of the other cars that we've gone over so far. But even compared to the Krieger and the Emrys, which are both way better looking, faster, better customization generally, I would say, except for maybe not the Krieger. I'd say the Furia actually beats the Krieger out, but performance-wise, the Krieger and the Emrys kill the Furia every single day of the week. The Furia is really cool. It has all-wheel drive, great looks, I would say overall, but just not a top-tier vehicle that's discounted this week, whereas the Krieger and the Emrys both are. These are some of the best supercars in the entire game as far as non-HSW supercars go, so these are two that I would recommend if you don't have HSW on your platform. If you do have HSW on your platform, honestly I would say to probably avoid the Emrys, the Furia, and the Benefactor Krieger. Scrolling further down, we have the Pegassi Tesseract. It is absolutely abysmal, it cannot turn. It is not worth purchasing. I would completely avoid the Tesseract this week, everybody. Scrolling further down, we have the Grotti X80 Proto. This thing has different downforce depending on the direction you're facing on the map. That is a fact, by the way, before anybody wants to question it. I would completely avoid the X80. Trash vehicle, do not recommend it. Under the four-door section, we have the Ubermacht Sentinel GTS. Great car, top speed of 132 miles per hour. No HSW available for it, but it is a fantastic vehicle. It's rear-wheel drive, good customization, awesome vehicle for $800,000, would highly recommend it. Gallivanter Bowler STD, great SUV, one of the best SUVs in the entire game as a matter of fact. Comes with all-wheel drive, has a top speed of about 120 miles per hour, also has the Amani Tech upgrades available for it. That includes the missile lock-on jammer, but it also gets the oil slick proximity mine dropper, and interestingly enough, the windows on this thing are actually bullet resistant. They can take up to 15 shots from an assault rifle, so that is pretty cool. If you're in the market for a luxury SUV, this thing is really good, but if you're not, I would avoid it completely. For motorcycles, we have the Nagasaki Shinobi discounted by 50% off this week. Very good motorcycle, one of the top 2 or 3 in the entire game without HSW. Has a missile lock-on jammer available, which is cool. It looks great customization-wise. It's fantastic as well. If you're in the market for a bike, this is a good one to pick up. However, I can't necessarily recommend it for every player. I just don't think it's worth it for everybody. But if you like motorcycles, this is one you should probably buy this week if you do not have it already. Okay guys, that's it for Legendary. On to Warstock now. We have the Western Police Bike for $1,860,000. Honestly, not really worth it as far as the police vehicles go. It does have a speed glitch, which is pretty cool. It's the technically highest top speed police vehicle in the game, topping out at like 155 miles per hour if you get the speed glitch. But again, you can't turn while you're doing that as well, so that is something to consider. You do get dispatch work available with it though, and the missile lock-on jammer, which is pretty cool, and you get a special outfit too. If you're in the market for the police bike, I mean, consider buying it for sure this week, but for most players, I'm going to go ahead and say to avoid it. We also have the Titan 250D discounted, a very cool novelty vehicle. If you have friends to play with, you may want to consider purchasing it, but honestly, you're probably not going to use it nearly as much as you think that you might. It is an AC-130, it has a side-mounted weapon, but unfortunately, only one of them is usable by the pilot, and it's very sketchy because you have to fly the plane and operate it at the same time. So unless you have a lot of friends, I don't really think the Titan 250D is worth it, and even if you do have a bunch of friends to play with, I still just don't know if it's fully worth it. If you think it might be for you, consider buying it this week. It's probably the cheapest it'll ever be, so that is definitely a consideration to make. For most players though, I would say to avoid the Titan 250D. The F-160 Raiju is also discounted this week, although it doesn't say there's a discount for it, which is odd, but it's going for $3,187,500 or $4,250,000 if you don't have the trade price. Either of these prices are absolutely worth it. This is the fastest jet in the game with the best VTOL mode. It has good cannons, it's got good missiles, and of course it has stealth mode. It is a fantastic plane. Absolutely buy one this week for sure. We also have the Pegasi Weaponized Ignis. 50% off this week, which is a great discount. If you've never owned a weaponized Ignis, if you have HSW on your platform, which you do if you have the weaponized Ignis available, I would absolutely say to buy this thing this week. It is one of the top tier vehicles on sale this week. It is one that everybody should own, I would say. It also has HSW for it, and it comes with a built-in missile lock-on jammer, which is really cool. Scrolling further down, we have the RO86 Alkanos. This is one I would absolutely avoid. It's just simply not worth the amount of money that it costs. You will also need a hangar in order to store it, and it's just not that great. I would avoid the Alkanos entirely. However, the Toreador I would absolutely purchase this week, especially if you ever play in public lobbies and you need to defend yourself from griefers. Fantastic vehicle for doing that. It is also submersible, has the rocket booster, front-mounted machine guns, and missiles with super aggressive tracking. It is a fantastic car. Absolutely buy a Toreador this week. Scrolling further down, we have the Scramjet and the B-11 Strikeforce. The B-11 Strikeforce is 70% off this week, guys. Crazy discount. Absolutely buy one. As far as I'm concerned, it is probably one of the top discounts this week. Everybody should own a B-11 Strikeforce. It is a fantastic plane. It's actually the most well-armed plane in Grand Theft Auto Online. The Scramjet is pretty hit or miss. If you like the Scramjet, I mean, consider buying it this week for sure. Not exactly the most useful vehicle, doesn't exactly have a lot of utility to it, so I'd say avoid it for most people, to be completely honest, unless, again, you really, really want it. Scrolling further down, we have the Deluxo, 50% off this week as well. Pretty good vehicle, has hover mode, you can fly around in it, not much in the way of customization. It is pretty good though, but it is pretty slow. For $2,156,000, I honestly don't think you will ever get a Deluxo this cheap ever again. So if you're interested in it, I would get it this week. The Kinjali as well, great tank, best tank in the game, but it is not exactly the best for PvPing. It's actually really good against NPCs, not so good against players. With that being said, if you want a Khanjali, you will need to own a facility to begin with. But if you own a facility, honestly, I would say if you're in the market for Khanjali, you should buy one this week. Scrolling further down, we have the Barrage and the P996 Laser. The Barrage is absolutely awful as far as an off-road military vehicle goes, so I would say to completely avoid this thing. It's just a worse version of the Insurgent and the Menacer, so avoid the Barrage this week. It's just simply not worth it. The P996 Laser, though, for $3,250,000 for a Pegasus vehicle, which you can take to your hangar and make into a personal aircraft as well. I think this is actually probably the time to buy the Laser if you have never bought a Laser before. I think this price is kind of unbeatable, so if you're in the market for one, if you want one, I would say you should probably buy it. We also have the Buckingham Pyro and the RM10 Bombushka and the V65 Molotov discounted this week. The Molotov, I'm going to go ahead and say, is on a lower tier than the Pyro, the F160 Raju, the P996 Laser. It's just not simply as good as any of those vehicles, so I would avoid the Molotov this week. The Bombushka I would also avoid this week. It is a way worse version of the Titan 250D. Don't even consider buying it. It's just stupid. However, the Pyro is one of the best dogfighters in the entire game, so if you enjoy dogfighting in GTA Online, get one of these this week. It is a very, very good fighter plane in GTA Online. If you're not interested in planes though, you can avoid this one as well. Scrolling further down, we have 4 more discounts, one on the Bravado Half-Track. This is one of the best armored vehicles in the entire game. If you like PvPing or anything of the sort, or you just want to be safe in free mode, this is a great vehicle to buy. It has a fully bulletproof front windshield and rear back windscreen as well, and you can have the gunner on it as well, and it's just generally a really good vehicle. It could take 27 homing missiles or up to 9 RPGs. Very good vehicle. I would recommend that to anyone who plays PvP ever. We also have the Pegasi Oppressor, one of the most fun vehicles in the entire game. This is one that I do recommend purchasing this week simply for fun, but it also does have missiles available for it through bunker research. Now, I don't recommend griefing with it or anything like that, but it is a cool vehicle. The Weaponized Tampa, one of the best solo vehicles in the entire game against NPCs and players as long as you keep your distance, because this thing has no armor. It is a complete glass cannon. However, with the right bunker research unlocked, it becomes an absolute weapon. Once you get the aimable top-mounted miniguns for it, it is just destructive. It is disgusting. It is a very good vehicle. For $800,000, you should absolutely buy one this week. And the anti-aircraft trailer will require you to own a bunker, but it is a pretty cool vehicle that you can tow around behind a Night Shark or something like that. Although I don't think it's very useful necessarily, so I don't really recommend this one for most players. Scrolling further down, we have the Ruiner 2000 discounted this week as well, and the Coil Rocket Voltic. The Rocket Voltic is one I would absolutely avoid. However, the Ruiner 2000 is pretty cool, and it does have some unique utility. For that reason, I would recommend the Ruiner 2000, but I would completely avoid the Rocket Voltic. The Ruiner 2000 can jump up in the air, deploy a parachute, it has some of the best missiles in the entire game, and really good front-mounted machine guns as well. It is a very cool car. I highly recommend it. The turreted limo is also free this week, carrying over from the past couple weeks, so get one of these if you haven't got one yet. And of course, we also have the Hydra discounted for $1,500,000 or $2 million if you don't have the trade price. This is the OG VTOL jet in Grand Theft Auto Online. A very cool vehicle, great front-mounted machine guns that are explosive, but they did get nerfed a few years ago, so they're not as good as they once were. The Hydra is a really cool vehicle for $1.5 million. I don't think it's the worst purchase you can make. Basically, if you can't afford a laser or a Raiju, you may want to consider purchasing the Hydra, but for a lot of people who, want the best plane ever, you're probably just not going to want the Hydra overall, because the P996 Laser and the F160 Raiju are superior in most ways. We also have the Vapid Liberator, 40% off this week, going for $445,000. If you guys are interested, definitely purchase it if it appeals to you. For most people though, I would say to avoid it because it is a Pegasus vehicle. Moving on to Southern San Andreas Super Autos, we have the DeClasse Figaro ZX. If you have HSW available on your platform, I would absolutely purchase this thing. It is the fastest muscle car in the entire game, actually second fastest muscle car in the entire game with HSW applied to it. It has pretty good handling as well. So for under $1 million, I don't think it's a terrible purchase. It is 50% off this week, and it is a great vehicle. If you're in the market for a muscle car, this is one I would recommend. We also have the Karen Calico GTF. This one is just kind of on a lower tier of priority as far as the vehicle discounts go this week, guys. I don't really recommend picking up a Calico GTF this week unless it's something you really, really want for whatever reason. But for most players, I'm going to go ahead and say to avoid the GTF this week. Definitely focus on some of the other discounts going on. We also have the Bravado Buffalo STX discounted this week, going for $806,000, 50% off of its normal price. Now, the STX is one of the best cars in the entire game. It has missile lock-on jammer available for it. It has armor plating, front-mounted machine guns, bullet-resistant windows, and the oil slick proximity mine dropper. As far as vehicle to protect yourself in free mode goes, this is truly one of the best in the entire game. So this is one that I do recommend purchasing this week for sure, while it's $800,000 or probably about 1.2 million, or actually about 1 million if you don't have the trade price unlocked for it. Very good vehicle, absolutely recommend it. We also have the Western Sovereign, 40% off this week, going for $72,000. If it appeals to you, buy it. It's 72 grand. You really can't go wrong with it. Okay, and I've totally forgot about 3 discounts. We have the Terabyte, Avenger, and the MOC discounted this week. The MOC is going to be 70% off. The Benefactor Terabyte is going to be 70% off, and so is the Avenger. All 3 of these vehicles are absolutely excellent and enable you to do some cool things. Out of the 3, if I had to buy one, I would buy the Terabyte because you can put a master control terminal inside this thing, and that is by far the most convenient use out of all of these vehicles. However, the MOC is also really good because you can upgrade certain vehicles in the back of it, and you can upgrade certain weapons and stuff like that as well. Plus, the Mobile Operations Center cab, this thing right here, is the most armored vehicle in the entire game. For 70% off, I would make it a priority to at least get the MOC, the Mobile Operations Center, and the Terabyte this week. 70% off is no joke. And when it comes to upgrading these things, the stuff that you can do to them, I mean, honestly, I would just go for what I have here: the turret station, the drone station, the weapon workshop, and the specialized workshop in the Terabyte. And in the MOC, I would go for the Phantom Custom. It is a very good vehicle. The Command Center is cool, or the Living Quarters. I would go for the Command Center personally. In Bay 2, the Weapon and Vehicle Workshop, and that also takes up Bay 3. And then the interior color, I mean, is just personal preference. It's completely up to you, but make sure to get a Terabyte and an MOC this week at least. So that's going to do it for the vehicle discounts. We're 30 minutes into the video pretty much, and we just got finished the vehicle discounts. Let's go to the casino and the LS car meet and all the dealerships as well. Within the casino, we have the Ocelot Jugular available to be won this week. You should absolutely come here and try to win this thing. It is a fantastic car, one of the best sounding vehicles in the entire game. Within the LS car meet, we have the Lampadati Viserys available to be won, and in order to win, you're gonna have to place first for 2 days in a row. So if you have a friend to win trade with, you should absolutely try to win this thing. It is a pretty cool vehicle. It's actually weaponizable. You can put front mounted machine guns on it, which is pretty cool. So I would recommend trying to win it for sure. And in here we have some of the discounted vehicles this week: the 10F, we have the Penadlo Carouse, and the Grotti LS Car Meet Cheetah Classic, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to go over them again because we already went over them, but we do have the HSW test ride this week, which is the Principe Devastate. It's going for $3.1 million this week. Honestly, not the worst customization I've ever seen, but I would still probably make my own. Within Simeon's, we also just have a bunch of the discounted vehicles that we already went over earlier. We got the Bravado Banshee GTS, Ubermacht Niobe, Pegassi Torero XO, Grotti X80 Proto, and the Declassi Vigoro ZX. I'm not going to go over them again because we already did, so just, yeah, go back if you're interested. Now, something that's changed this week is the FIB priority file within the Garment Factory. This week, it's going to be the Fine Art file. And of course, the other thing that has changed are the Salvage Yard robberies. None of them are claimable again this week, unfortunately, but the Gangbanger robbery will get you the Grotti Turismo Omaggio, the Podium robbery will get you the Ubermacht Cypher, and the Duggan robbery will get you the Willard Eudora this week as well. Within luxury autos, we have the Ubermacht Sentinel GTS and the Vapid FMJ Mark V. Both available on the websites, just get them there, honestly. Your regular time trial this week is going to be El Barro Heights, and your HSW time trial is going to be East Vinewood to Vespucci Beach. That's going to do it for this week's episode of What to Buy and What to Avoid, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. Make sure to take advantage of these discounts and everything like that are going on, but at the same time, make sure to save a little bit of money at least for the new update. If there's anything that you're going to want to buy, who knows what we're going to get yet, but we will find that out soon. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.